Welcome back to Worn Out and Wired, a conversation about everything and nothing all at the same time. I'm Rolby, and this is Jessika. And today we're going to be talking about school, like our childhood.
Childhood.
I guess high school, right? Or high school.
Elementary, middle school, high school, all inclusive.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about school. We're going to see a big difference in who I am as a person and who she is as a person. So it's going to be pretty interesting, I think, at least.
I was a little angel.
And I wasn't. All right, so let's just start firing them off. So first question is, were you popular?
In my mind, I was popular.
Okay, so you weren't popular.
I'd like to think that I was, but I really wasn't. Looking back, I tried so hard too. It was a little cringy, if I must say. Yeah. I really tried to be popular. I feel like you probably didn't even try to be popular. You were just naturally popular.
Was not popular, but because of my name. My name's Rolby. It's a very unique name. It's my real name. Everybody knew me. For the most part, everyone was just like, "Oh, Rolby." They just knew me because of my name, I feel like.
Yeah, but you were telling me stories about how people would just come up and you'd, write songs about them.
I was the type of kid who brought their acoustic guitar to school, and I would sit in the corners anytime I could, and I would just play guitar and mess around and make songs about whatever was happening around me. That started in 10th grade.
That sounds pretty popular. Pretty popular.
No, I wasn't a sports kid. I wasn't I didn't have a million friends. I just hung out with all the emo kids.
I was just ignored.
Oh, I'm so
That's
sad.
how I know I wasn't popular.
So basically, I mean, you weren't popular.
I'm popular now.
Yeah, I don't think I was popular. So we weren't popular kids.
I'm not popular now. That's a joke.
But yeah, because of my name, I feel like a lot of people did know me though.
Yeah, I wasn't popular because my parents didn't let me do anything fun. They were really strict, so I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, my mom was extremely, pretty strict. All my friends could stay out.
Not like mine. Mine were on a whole other...
Yeah, no, I know. Your parents were very strict.
My parents were hardcore.
I feel like there's that, it's a duality as well, because for girls, I feel like their parents were always so much more strict than
Hispanic
guys.
Women.
Yeah, especially in a Hispanic household.
Immigrant parents.
But
yeah, so I didn't get to enjoy anything in my childhood. I wasn't allowed to even go to sleepovers or school field trips. I think just a handful,
Yeah. So, all right. Did you get good grades or bad grades?
I definitely got good grades. But it's because I was, again, my parents were a little on the aggressive side in all of the ways. So, it's definitely if you don't have good grades,
what are you doing?
Out.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's you're not allowed to eat that day. No, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? It's nope, you don't get dinner today. Yeah. No A's, no dinner.
I probably would have gotten better grades then.
Yeah, probably driven by the food.
Yeah.
See, I didn't have much of an appetite, so that wouldn't have really affected me.
Oh, I got not bad grades, but I definitely was average to... I wasn't the best kid.
Got it. So bad grades.
I kind of was not a troublemaker, especially not early on, but
that's what troublemakers say.
I was definitely I don't know. School was fun.
Yeah, can't say the same thing about me. So we clearly had completely different experiences. I definitely got good grades because I didn't have fun. Okay, so I think that's the translation. You got good grades, and then that translates into not having fun. But then you got bad grades, and then you know the rest.
Yeah.
Then you get people like Rolby who are cool kids.
Nah.
Popular, but...
I had to bust out the flannel, I had to really play the part today. This class clown. I was a stoner kid. So.
Yeah, I got straight A's, and I was in AP classes, and I finished all of my math requirements in 9th grade. And after that, I took all these other, like, I kept going with the math courses, like 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, and these, like, really advanced math courses. So, yeah, my parents really, I don't know, they were just like, if you're not in honor classes, like, all of mine were honor classes and all AP. So, that was the only option. Like, if I wasn't in that, my parents would be like, okay, what's going on? Like, why didn't you get into those classes?
Yeah, no.
Completely different.
That's one of the other questions, so we'll get into that. But yeah, definitely no. I didn't. Yeah, none of it. What was your favorite subject?
A fun subject? I really like anything that was artistic, but like a more serious subject, I would say math, because it was pretty like standard.
Math Superstars.
Oh my god. Math Superstars was like this like hell of an assignment in elementary school, and my parents like would hone that in so intensely, and I ended up like getting like perfect scores every single week, but I suffered like every single week. Like my parents just, I don't know, doing the homework with me, it was torturous, and it was like due at a specific time in the week, like every Monday had to be turned in, and I just like all of my siblings and we all have the same horror stories, but I'm the eldest, so I clearly went through like the worst of it. So yeah, but math, like I became super good at math. So then it was like, oh great, like I'm really good at this, so then it made me feel really good about it. So that's why I liked that subject.
That's
it's an
awesome.
ego thing.
Yeah, I liked well, yeah, the fun subjects were always like the electives. I liked all the electives because I did take like a photography class. It was communications technology, so I had photography, screen printing, and like printing press. So that was definitely like one of my favorite. I took that so many times.
I liked all the electives.
Yeah, electives were fun, but see, I guess I
did a radio one once. Ooh,
that's fun.
Foreshadowing for this.
Yeah, I always wanted to do like the TV broadcast, but I never did it.
I did it like for like a week or some stuff like that.
That doesn't count.
And some people did like home ec. I never got. Is that what it's called?
Home economics. Yeah.
Yeah.
I took that class once.
I didn't even get that.
Yeah.
I only got this one cool one that was like, we got to go to the YMCA during class, and it was like a PE elective, but it was in high school, and then we would come home and like we would cook food, but it was like really good food.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
It was kind of like a home ec, but
yeah, our home economics, we baked brownies. I sewed a pillow, and then I don't remember anything else. Yeah, I just remember we learned how to sew. I learned how to bake some stuff. We like made food, but I only took it once, and I barely remember. I feel like I didn't take it for that long.
I did like cross stitching in like 5th grade.
Yeah.
Oh, and I carved out a soap.
Yeah, but
that was pretty cool.
My serious like subject, an actual subject would probably be English or anything that had to do with like reading, because I was a good reader. And
as a bilingual, that's like.
Yeah, the teachers would always make me read everything, like, because I would give like inflection, and I would get into character, so I'd like read all the stuff we had to do, and they would always be like,
actor.
They would go to a few other people, and then they would go back to me, and then they'd do a couple people, and then they'd go back to me, and I hated it, but at the same time I liked it because I liked reading, so I got to flex on these.
I actually hated reading.
Yeah,
I despised it because I had a lisp, and everyone would make fun of me whenever I would read.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to have a lisp, and like funny. I would stutter.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's not hilarious, but it's just the thought of you, because like you're pretty well spoken now. Like I feel like I have more of like a stutter and like a.
You just get nervous around me.
Yeah, I get real nervous.
You just, But
anyway, all right. So, were you in any clubs or extracurricular activities?
You go first.
That's a big no. If I didn't have to be in school, I didn't want to be in school.
I didn't want to be in school. Too cool for school.
If I didn't have to do anything, I didn't want to do. I didn't partake in anything that had to do with school. So, when it came to extracurriculars, I can't think of anything I did.
It's like I'm the complete opposite. Like, I wanted to be in school because if I wasn't in school, that meant that I was at home with my parents and my siblings.
Oh, so it's like your way to like socialize.
It was like
and stuff.
The only way that I could socialize. So any type of extracurricular activity, I would just take advantage. In elementary school, I took this job very seriously. It's called Safety Patrol.
Oh my god.
It's like the most like nerdy thing.
I remember that. They had like the little satch.
Yeah, and they're like,
what is that
you
called?
Can't run.
What is that thing called?
You over there, stop at once.
You guys had to wear seatbelts.
Yeah, like a little seatbelt, booklet.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like in elementary school though.
Oh
we
man,
had
I took that so seriously.
Yeah, after elementary, I don't think we ever had that. Like middle school and high school, they didn't have that.
I got you, teacher. I will stop anyone who's running in these halls.
You know what we used to have when we would have to like get in line to go to like lunch or recess or something?
Oh, you would have the person that would hold the door?
We'd have the door holder. We
had that too.
I forgot what. I just remember the caboose. I think the caboose was the last person. There would be like, we had, like,
what did
train
they do?
names.
What did the caboose do?
We kept to make sure that we're the last person, so they know that everybody's in line. It's kind of a way to keep track of everybody. It's pretty interesting.
Sounds like a tattletale.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I was there, but they would always change. It would always change. But yeah, I just remember we had the train.
Yeah,
names
we had that. But
I only remember the caboose part. I don't remember what we called it.
I just remember the safety patrol. I was like, man, this is an honor. I got that. Can't believe it. It means I'm responsible.
This is an honor.
This is an honor. I will serve my country.
Yeah, I will not let you down. I will not let you down, I promise.
Oh, wait, no, that's graduation.
Anyway, next one.
Wait. I also had other extracurricular activities.
Yeah, we know you were a nerd. So what else did you do?
No, but wait. In middle school, I joined the math club. The math club was super fun. We solved Rubik's Cubes.
Oh, that's
Rubik's
why you,
Cubes.
That's
Rubik's
why
Cubes.
That's why you like Rubik's
But I
Cubes.
didn't learn how to solve it there.
Yeah, you learned it after.
I learned how to solve one like years later. And then another one that I had in high school was chorus. Well, chorus was also middle school. Chorus and then musical theater was like a big one in high school, and we would have to stay like sometimes towards the end of the semester. We would have to stay, and like sometimes I would build the sets with like the techies. That's what we used to call them, like the people who did all the tech stuff. I would have to stay, and like we would just buy a bunch of like Taco Bell and just like build the sets and paint it and whatever. But then it would be like rigorous rehearsals, and you would have to like go through like a whole boot camp to like stay fit, and it was just a whole thing. Like we had class, an hour class every single day, and we still had rehearsal afterward at times. So it was like a...
You know, the more I think about it, I wasn't a popular kid, but maybe I had popular kid mentality because I thought the drama kids were so annoying.
And guess what? You ended up,
yeah, that's pretty funny.
Dating.
Just thinking about it now, because I was
this
like,
girl.
I was like a skater kid, so like I was just like, that's lame. I'm gonna go skate.
The theater kids are so lame.
They want to.
Guess what?
They want to
bitch?
do stuff.
Now you're dating one. So.
All right, what is this school morning announcements? Because honestly, for me, our school morning announcements, we heard them in the beginning. I know.
Were you even there?
I was there. I remember we had to do that. That's when we did our Pledge of Allegiance. We did it through the school morning announcements. I'm pretty sure for one of the fucking times.
Yo, let me put you on to this. In elementary school, we had like a whole morning announcement. It was crazy because it was like they would grab the kids and then they would put them into the morning announcements, like young kids, to read, to be like the hosts. And I don't know, that's just like mind-blowing to me.
Oh yeah, no, they used to do that for us.
But then they would have
But those were the kids that were in like the broadcast or the TV things.
But they would grab it from all over the school. Like every child would get to do it. So it wasn't just like special children, like all of the children did it. And then you also like, if you got like an honor award or something, you would show up on the morning announcements. And then also you could like even be the camera person if you wanted to, or like the person that says like the lunch for the day, like super cool. So then they would take like rotations.
Super cool. That person
super cool
would walk out of there and just be like throw the sunglasses on.
I was on the morning announcements. Did you see me? I actually have like home videos of my parents going, and like it's a whole thing. It's a whole process. Like, oh my gosh, she's on the morning announcements. I think that's cool that they would like let everybody do it, because I feel like in our school it was just the people that were. But it was in 5th grade. You had to be in 5th grade because that's you were like cool at that point because you were the older kids. I don't even remember the like announcements in 5th grade, like who did it. I remember in high school it was like more. It was like those kids, but I don't remember. Yeah, we didn't. I mean, the morning announcements in high school were like the designated club for that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, our school was huge. Yeah. I went to a school that was
for reference too, she went to a really like a nice school in like a nicer area, and I went to like kind of like the horse country school in the horse area.
Lock them doors and turn down.
What was that?
It's like a country song.
I didn't even understand what you said.
Baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low. You know?
I've never heard this.
Yeah, it's like.
Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, our school was like the largest populated high school at one point.
And then they had to combine with my school, and it was there was a whole controversy.
Cut our school and be like, okay, here you go to his school, and yeah.
And they were really mad. All the stuck up kids were like, I'm not going to that school.
And we were like 4 years apart, so it was around the time, like at some point, I don't know.
It was after me, when I did it.
Yeah.
So it was probably around the time.
It was around the time that I was there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was like, you weren't in school.
No.
Poser.
All right, so that's school morning announcement, yeah, whatever.
But it's cool, right? Like the elementary thing. Okay, fine.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I wish they would have let me do it. I would have had fun with that, but no, they didn't let us do it.
And it was a big...
You know why? I don't think they trusted everybody in my school to do it.
I know, but that's why you had someone like guiding you, and you had to be... It was a very serious thing. You had to show up like an hour beforehand and like know your role.
Wow.
And you got scripts and everything. It was a whole production.
I mean, it makes sense.
It was great.
All right, school food or bag lunch? Or a little bit of both. Combination.
You go.
Combo wombo.
You go.
I did, when I was in elementary, it was always bag lunch. My mom would always do stuff. Like, she'd always make me lunch. But once I hit middle school and high school, I was part of the general population.
It's 'cause he's the baby of the family, that's why. So your mom was like over it at that point. But with me, I'm the eldest, so I went through like all the...
No, it wasn't because I was the baby. I don't even know what my siblings got, but I think it was just because like my mom started working. Because my parents got divorced around 5th grade, and so like at that point she was like working, so it was like she didn't have time. She didn't have time for that. Plus, I got cheaper school lunch because when they got divorced, like she was like a single mom. And so, like, I got, like, a discount. I think it was even free. I think I might have even gotten free school lunch for a while. And that's when I started, that Mexican pizza life.
Oh, my God. That's so funny that you mentioned that because my sister, like... I didn't get too many school lunches, but she's like, oh, my God, the Mexican pizza was always so good. And I don't think I ever got to try it because I was a school bag lunch type of thing. So...
You were
not me. I wasn't that.
Yeah, but, your parents did it, or did you?
My mom literally. It wasn't even like in a freaking bag. My mom literally just handed me like in tin foil or like saran wrap 2 pieces of white bread with the crust on, with like a slice of Munster. Whatever. That cheese in the middle, and then that's it. Not even water. Like, she'd be like, just drink from the freaking water fountain over there. Like, that's it. And then to switch it up, she would do the same 2 pieces of bread another day and would put like a piece of ham, like Kirkland ham, just like thinly sliced in the middle, and that's it.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, because you went to a really nice school, you lived in a nice area, but we both come from immigrant. Yeah, we both come from immigrant parents who have like had to build themselves up. Yeah. So
and especially when like I got here, I was in 3rd grade, so.
Yeah, you're the oldest, and I'm the youngest of my family. So I got like by the time I was there, like it's like my dad had already like established himself, and like we were doing well.
Like we were just starting.
Yeah, and then
when I got here.
Exactly, and then so you were dealing with that. So you went to a really high-end, like snooty kind of school, not like crazy, like a private school or anything, but I feel like everybody there was like intense. And
they were.
Yeah,
they did some hardcore, interesting things. And they also drove like really nice cars, so
yeah, I can only imagine because that's a nice area. But yeah, so
I didn't get any chance to like buy school lunches, but when This is really bad. But sometimes I would like go around and ask people for quarters because my mom would like forget to pack me something. So like I would go around and like get quarters from people and then just collect enough quarters to like buy myself a school lunch. That's so sad.
No, it's not that sad. I mean,
it's a little sad.
I remember there was times where I didn't have money, like when I wasn't getting the free lunch, and I would do the same thing, be like, "Hey, do you have $1?" Like,
yeah. Or
I
was
basically panhandling for that Mexican pizza because it was so good. I'd panhandle for that thing. In high school, though, it got crazy because we had a little window, and they had sushi. And
ours was also like.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So we had a regular school lunch, which I would eat, and the breakfast too. The breakfast biscuits with like the jelly.
Yeah, ours had like different stands, as if it's like freaking the mall, and you see like entirely different companies there.
Oh, that's crazy. No, we just had this one that I don't even know when that started.
That's what it seemed like. I'm not saying that that's what it was like, but it seemed like that, like a freaking food court at the mall.
Yeah, we had the one thing which had sushi, and I think it had like a chicken sandwich or something, and then, which I don't even know where it came from. All of a sudden, it just appeared. There was this one area that had like a garage door looking like window, and then one day it was just up, and I was like, what is that? And then people were walking away with like little California rolls and like all this crazy stuff, and I was like, what the hell? And then we had a salad bar, which was also really good, but I never really ate the salad bar.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite thing was the Mexican pizza. Like, I can't really think of anything else that was good because, like, the spaghetti was weird. The spaghetti was super weird. I think they might have had chicken tenders. Yeah, they probably had chicken nuggets, not tenders. And those were all right. But that Mexican pizza, oh my God, I can think about my mouth is watering right now.
I just remember, like, when you were, like, too poor and then you couldn't get anything, they would just give you PB&Js.
Yeah, you get PB&Js.
In elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next one.
School field trips.
Oh, okay.
Mine will be quick.
Okay.
None. I maybe went on one or two when I was a little younger, but my mom would always just say no. For one, they cost, a lot of them were like money. You had to like pay money. You know, it'd be like $200 or like $100. Mom's like, sorry, bud. But I went to a couple of them. Maybe like the one like Flamingo Gardens, which was like a little like zoo, like a small zoo with like stuff. I think I went there because I just remember eating oranges.
Yeah.
I think that. Oh, but instead of school field trips, I do have a story. We used to do Tanakiki because my elementary school was built right next to it was a neighborhood, and maybe it was built on it too, but it was all Indian burial ground. Mm-hmm. And so we would every year we would go to the this thing called the Ridge, and we would pretend to I forget if they would appoint you it or you chose. They'd probably appoint it, but like you'd either be an Indian or like a pilgrim. And it was super messed up because after I found out the story about like how it all worked, like
that sounds sus.
Yeah, and we would sit there and do chants, and like we would we had like a trading post, and I just remember trading everything for oranges. I really liked oranges when I was a kid.
I'm gonna trade for oranges. Here you go, here's my oranges. Little baby Rolby.
No, I wouldn't trade. Like I would trade to get the oranges.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you would make things. Like I made whips all the time.
Whips.
Well, no, they're easy to make. I would just use like a tube and then like yarn. They weren't real whips or like any type of string.
I know, but just like to add to the story.
Oh, I know, because you can make like weapons. I think I don't even know why they allowed me.
I have provided you with weapons.
Yeah, here's your arsenal
for the Indians. I need some oranges. Give me oranges.
I guess Native Americans. I guess we should be saying.
Yeah, Native Americans.
But that's when you're a kid. That's how you thought about it, was like pilgrims, Indians, and pilgrims.
I know.
But yeah, it was pretty interesting. So field trips. What did you go on field trips?
So yeah, I had a few field trips, and my parents didn't let me go on any overnight ones because that's just like a big no-no in my family. So I can only remember of like 3 major ones, which that's not a lot for like someone who
I
went
had
to
friends
school
that went to every single
freaking field trip. But I remember 3 distinctly. One was in 5th grade. I went to SeaWorld, and I have not been to SeaWorld since, and I don't plan on going because there's just a lot of like things that I just don't approve of. Number 2 was a trip to the Everglades because we're like really close to the Everglades, so we went in 4th grade, and I remember, or 4th grade, and I remember I have these friends that are twins, and I'm gonna like send this to them, and hopefully that they remember like this story. They have to. One of them fell in like quicksand, and like the teachers had told everyone like, oh, please like stay away from this area, it's quicksand. And one of them like just went straight into it because like I guess she wasn't paying attention to what the teacher was saying. Everyone was going around and this bitch just like freaking face planted into it. And then she like kept like getting like swallowed into it. And I know that it's not funny, it's just like my natural visceral response is to like laugh. But her twin was like, oh my god, like, you're not going out without me, like, blah, 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 you can't die here, bitch. Like, she was, like, yelling at her, and I'm like, dude, I was, like, scared shitless because, you know, like, I'm in 4th grade, so I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna die. So, there's something about twins that it's just, like, it tugs at my heartstrings because my mom's a twin, so I think about, like, them being separated in any way, and it like hurts my heart. So when that was happening, I think that was like my first surreal experience of like, oh my gosh, like they're twins, like they can't be separated, like no, this can't be the end. And it just like really stuck with me for like the rest of time. Like whenever I think of like twins and being separated and stuff like that, I just think of like that
the
moment.
Quicksand.
The quicksand story. There's
a lot of people that don't know that quicksand's real. Which I've never had any experience with it. But
I know, but it was just so real and so quick, like, in my mind, at least. Like, I was younger, so maybe it wasn't that big of a deal. But we had to grab, like, a freaking tree branch, and, like, she had to, like, be pulled out, and it was a whole thing.
Do you think was the teacher scared?
I don't remember, because I was so just, like,
You're just
scared
freaked
shitless.
Out? Yeah.
That I don't remember, but I do remember that and how, like, I could see the other twin. I don't even know which twin it was. And they've been friends with me since, like, 3rd grade, 4th grade. So yeah, they would know which one is the one that fell into quicksand. But it was like a very traumatic thing for me.
That sounds insane.
And like now I know what to do with quicksand after that, but yeah.
Yeah, you just wiggle.
No, you have to
wiggle.
You have to like first wiggle, but then you have to try to lay flat. So there you go. You have to lay flat across like the surface.
I didn't know that. I would, if I fall in quicksand, I would just basically.
I know that because of the twins. Thanks, twins. But yeah, it like left something special in my heart. And then the last field trip was a little intense. So it was senior year, and we had like this grad night thing, and I had gotten into really, really big trouble, and I was like a good kid, like kid you not. I never rebelled. I never like ran away from my house, whatever, until this day. So I got into like really, really bad, like deep shit trouble, and my mom grounded me, and I had already paid for my grad night like with my own money. And back then, when you work as a teen, like it's a really big deal. So I was like, nah, this chick ain't taking grad night from me. And so I was like, if you take me to school, I'm gonna get on the bus and I'm gonna go on to grad night. And it was only one day, and my freaking parents took me, and I was like, well, I'm getting in the bus. So I was like on the bus texting my friends like, I freaking ran away.
I made it.
I'm running away to Disney. So yeah, that was the last field trip that I remember, because it was like right before I graduated, and I was like, you know what, whatever, I rebelled once in my life, like no regrets, honestly. Yeah. Don't do that, kids, but you know, I don't know, I was worth it to me.
I don't think our target audience is high school kids, so I don't think we have to worry about that.
But I did go see my favorite band, which was Boys Like Girls. Did you ever listen to them?
No.
Oh man, they're so good.
No,
but Boys Like Girls, I got to see them, and Hello Monday. Oh my gosh, so good. It was so worth it. I came back like the same day.
I was kind of like a hipster, in the sense of like I liked like all my friends liked weird music, and we listened to music that like it was either like emo music that everybody knew, or like bands that like nobody knew. So that way like we could be like, oh, have
like
you ever
Bright
heard?
Eyes.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of Bright Eyes and stuff. I listen to like some lame music. Although Bright Eyes is good, I can still listen to a lot of their stuff.
We both were surprised that each other new Bright Eyes.
Yeah, I was very surprised that you would listen to Bright Eyes. Because, like, your
your
playlist is like every single genre. When we go through, it's like
every single genre, truly. Okay.
So yeah, no school field trips for me. And then you had someone almost die in quicksand. See, you had a lot of fun. What did you do on the weekends? Off of school. Like, what were you doing on the weekends? Cause me, I was skateboarding. I was making music. I was living my life. I was out prowling the streets because my mom wouldn't allow me to go out. So I would sleep over friends' houses. She would let me sleep over certain people's houses. So once like I found a friend that I could like that she trusted, she should have never trusted them. She would let me go over their house every weekend, and his mom let us do whatever he wanted. Like, he didn't have a curfew, he didn't have anything, so...
You see, that's why my parents
yeah, it makes sense. Over. Yeah, literally. So, like, that's the only way I was able to go do things and, like, really, like, enjoy, like, being a kid, in a sense. Because other than that, I would just skate and then be home before dark. That's what I had to do.
I didn't do anything because I wasn't allowed to do anything outside of my house.
Yeah.
So I didn't do much on the weekends. Actually, I would go to Blockbuster when that was a thing.
Oh, Blockbuster.
Yeah,
I did that
was some good stuff. I would go with my family on Friday, I remember, and then we would have to return it by like Monday or something like that, or Sunday night or something. So we would like watch a few Blockbuster films like as a family, but my parents just didn't let me like even watch. What
I don't want to make fun of you. It's just the way you say Blockbuster makes me laugh. Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Whatever.
Yeah. Blockbuster. Yeah, we would go down to the Blockbuster. But yeah, I love Blockbuster. It's a weird name now that I think about Blockbuster. What does that even mean?
Blockbuster.
Like, what does that mean?
So we're promoting them. Oh wait, they don't exist.
Yeah, they have one somewhere in like Oregon.
Do?
They have the last Blockbuster. That's their whole thing.
I don't think they do. I think they closed it down.
I don't know. Either way, I used to do I'm not looking it up.
Okay, fine. But yeah, I would. That's all I would do.
Yeah, because I would do that a lot.
But then I wasn't even allowed to like watch certain ones with them. Like, even if they were PG-13, like my parents would watch it first and be like, we'll check it out for you. And I'm like, I'm 17. Like, why can't I watch this? And they're like, no, it's just, that's why I matured late emotionally. Blame them for not for not showing me PG-13 movies. Okay? Like, legit, it would be like our roommate was watching Hot Chick. I wasn't allowed to freaking watch that movie until I was way older. Like, probably 16, 17. And even then, they're like, my parents are like, oh my gosh, like, scandalous.
That's a weird movie.
Okay.
But anyway,
You're gonna support them? You're gonna back them up? Like, yeah, Jessica shouldn't have freaking...
Yeah.
No, man.
You shouldn't have been allowed to watch that movie. That was weird.
You know what? Guess what? It didn't matter because...
Anyway, so I would skateboard a lot. I would definitely go to get movies. I'd played video games a little bit. Like, growing up, we played a lot of video games when I was a kid. Like, we played, like, the classic stuff, like Nintendo, and, like, we had an Atari when I was really young. Like, we had all the systems. And my mom would play, like, Pac-Man with us and stuff. She liked playing.
We would play Rummy Cube.
Oh, yeah, you've got
me. As a family.
Yeah.
And I became really good at it.
We played Life. Board game wise, we played Life and Monopoly every once in a while, but that ended pretty quickly. Like, once I hit like middle school, like elementary maybe, but middle school was like I was on my own in a sense. Like, I became an internet baby. Like,
yeah, I would play a lot of like internet games, but it was like Disney Channel internet games.
Makes sense.
I would watch a lot of like Disney Channel and stuff like that. I would just watch a lot of movies and play stupid online games that were like very PG.
Yeah.
Again, my parents like controlled everything about me, so.
Yeah, well, my parents were pretty strict. I'll never forget, like, when we first moved to Davie, horse country, Davie, Florida. We moved there, and I was 9 or 10, and all the kids came to my door because they were playing hockey, like roller hockey, and they came to my door, and they were like, hey, can your son come out and play? We need an extra person. And I was like, this is the moment. This is like that that moment.
Integration into society.
Yeah, like I was like, oh man, like I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna make friends, like this is gonna be a really like a core memory for me. And my mom was just like, oh no, he's not allowed out after sundown. And it was not sundown.
Oh my gosh.
It was like 4:00 in the afternoon, and she was just like, no, and closed the door on them.
Typical.
So
hey,
Hispanic moms.
Mom. I like that move. You kept him safe for me. Thanks.
Yeah, no. All right. Did you skip in school?
No, I was too scared of my parents to ever skip or do anything bad.
You're a good kid. That's
Except
good.
that day for grad night. Hey.
So.
Worth it.
I didn't start skipping until like high school. Like in middle school, I never really skipped. I feel like I didn't even understand that concept. Like I was like, where am I gonna go?
Where would I go where I wouldn't get in trouble?
Yeah, like
even just by police picking me up.
Yeah, when am I gonna go hide in the bathroom or something? Like,
yeah.
But high school, there was a house. Like the high school was like right next to a neighborhood. And so I remember there's this one house that I would always hop the fence. Not always, but every time I would want to like leave early, I would hop the fence. And this was like late high school, and I would go and I would do my deeds. I would go and be a bad kid, and then I would come back right before the bell rang again. And so like I'll never forget when I like hopped the fence to come back in, and the security guards were just looking at me. Like I hopped the fence, and he just pulled up on the golf cart, and we just looked at each other, and we kind of like just froze for a minute, and then I just ran off into like the school, and he just watched me. He was just kind of like,
okay.
Like
chase after you.
The bell was about to ring because my mom would always pick me up. So I'm like, so I don't know. He just let me go. So I thought that was pretty funny. But
so, I didn't really skip.
I skipped
to answer
a little
your
bit.
question.
I skipped a little bit.
And by a little bit, I'm sure it's like a lot, but it's okay.
I didn't skip a lot until like close to like the end of school, like the end,
Yeah.
But yeah.
I didn't skip. I was just late a lot. That's different. I had issues.
Yeah.
Stomach issues because I was stressed.
Did you ever get detention, suspended, or expelled?
Nah, bit.
Not even once?
I almost didn't graduate because I was so late so many times that I almost didn't like graduate. They were like, what up, girl? And I'm like, have you met my parents?
I didn't get we didn't really have detention that much. We might have had it. I didn't really get it that often. We used to have this thing called IS, internal suspension.
That sounds intense.
It was.
Oh my god.
In middle school, we had 2 security guards, right? And they were characters. One of them, I don't remember their names. I'm not gonna say their names, but one of them was a really big dude, and he was a bodyguard for like Brandy and Usher at one point, because he would always bring in the pictures and he would always show us. It was like his claim to fame. And then the other one was like a Vietnam vet, and he was like not that old.
Solid.
No, he was out of it. He was crazy. So I remember getting IS one time because I
What, like he had PTSD?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I feel bad for
Poor
him.
guy, man.
Yeah. But at the same time, like he was intense. Like he was also like, anyway. So he I had IS with him one time, and it was like something out of like a really bad movie. Like it was like they put us in the back room of the lunchroom, and I was in there with like all these like really intense kids, and I remember what you would do is you would just sit there quietly and do your work, and then you would have to do lunch duties. So you'd have to help clean up lunch, which was really embarrassing because everyone's like hanging out with their friends doing, eating lunch, and then you would have to walk around and like clean, help clean up the stuff.
I get what you're saying.
So IS sucked, but I remember being in there, and it was like a movie that he was just yelling at some kid, trying to get him to spell toilet. Because the kid wanted to go to the bathroom. He's like a really bad kid. And the kid was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And he's like, if you can spell toilet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's like, if you can spell toilet.
Is that like abuse? Borderline abuse?
No, it's not that he wasn't going to let him go. It's because the kid wanted to just go do, like, he was trying to, like, get out of.
I was going to say, you're going to refrain the kid from going pee-pee poo-poo?
No. He, like, he just was, like I said, like, he was a bad kid. So he was always trying to scheme his way out of something. And he was just like, if you can spell toilet, you can go. I'll let you go. And the kid just looked at him, and then I'm assuming he couldn't spell toilet, or he was just like, I don't even know. It was just a crazy moment. And then that dude, I keep almost saying his name, the Vietnam vet, just kept going, to let, and he was just repeating it over and over again. And the kid was just staring at him like, I'm not doing it. And then I was just sitting there like, and then I think I was clicking my pen at one point, and he just looked at me. He's like, don't click that pen. You don't want to see me when you start clicking that pen. Like, he was just crazy. And again, he had PTSD.
Pobrecito, yeah, so severe PTSD.
Yeah, we always felt bad for him.
But like, we don't understand certain things until we're adults, and then we like experience them ourselves.
Exactly.
So it's like,
yeah. But when you're a kid and that happens, you're just like, dude, that guy's crazy. Like, what the hell? But when you're older, you realize you're like, oh, he probably just had PTSD. But he also like played into it a bit because like he wanted to scare the kids, so it was almost like a scared straight type thing.
That's what a lot of like people back then used to do. It was like this whole tough act ordeal. It's like, oh, that's gonna be effective. It's like,
yeah, but
I don't know how effective that is.
God, that scared the crap out of me though. Like, I was like, I never want to deal with that ever again.
And then you started dating me.
What? That was in high school.
I'm saying I'm like that.
Oh, you're like that. No, you're not like that. You're nothing like him. But yeah, I remember.
Sometimes I yell at him. I'm like, spell before you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You want to go to the club? Spell club.
I remember. I remember getting IS again in high school because I was in like middle school, and I remember getting IS for something I forget. And like your sister told me to tell this story.
Okay.
It's like when so I was getting yelled at by the administrators, or they brought
it. The bad experience with teachers?
No. This is part of being in like getting it suspended. Oh, I got suspended. I didn't get IS. I got suspended for.
I'm finding this out.
Well, I did tell you this story, and then your sister didn't.
Oh no, I remember. Okay.
Yeah. So I got suspended, and my mom had to come to school, and they were explaining to her like that I got in trouble, and then she asked our like in school security guard, who was like a cop, like the in school policewoman. She was like, "Can I hit him?" And then she explained, because Hispanic women. The policewoman explained to my mom like, you can hit him as long as he's not restrained. Like, you can't, like, if he's in handcuffs or something, or if he's, like, and you can't hit him with anything, like, because she was like, don't hit him with a belt, that's messed up, like, whatever, but, like, for some reason
your hand.
Yeah, I know.
Sure, go for it.
She literally told my mom, like, oh, yeah, you can hit him, and then my mom just smacked me in front of my, like, administrators and, like, the policewomen, and their faces.
That's abuse right there.
Their faces were, like they didn't expect it.
Dude.
And my mom was just like, what else do we have? Like, what else we need to talk about here?
Man,
and it's funny though.
I really like your mom, so.
Yeah. Listen.
Maybe there was a really big reason, like.
No, I deserved it, and I totally deserved to get smacked. I forgot why I got.
Because over here, like, okay, no one should ever like hit a child. Should never get to that level.
I feel like
I'm
you
over
shouldn't.
Here, like, I know your mom, so it's like.
Yeah, I know that you shouldn't.
She's pretty patient.
You shouldn't hit a kid, right? You should never make your child like scared of you, but that was like 20 years ago or however long ago that was, and I feel like
it was a different time. It was
definitely a different time. And my mom,
for the police officer to be like, yeah, sure, go ahead and smack him.
I'll never forget that. But I just know that my mom never hit me. Like, when I would get in trouble, I'd get grounded, and then I would talk her out of my grounding in like a couple days. So it's not like she
did that often, but
yeah, I love how you're vouching for my mom. She didn't abuse me.
She didn't. Yeah.
But at the same time,
I'm sure there's a good reason why.
Because she was smart. She would just break my things. If I got in trouble, she would like. She broke my guitar one time, and oh my gosh, I was so sad. A piece of wood fell out of my guitar, and I was like, it's never gonna work again. And I played it, and I was like, oh, it still works. But it had like a crack in the back. I was so sad. But yeah, so I didn't. After that, I didn't get in trouble. I tried not to get in trouble. After she smacked me.
I would get in trouble for breathing. My parents tried to find any reason to like get me in trouble, which were like normal things, like normal teenager things. I was not a bad kid at all. I was just.
They were strict. They
were really strict. I want to like hold and hug my younger self and be like, it's okay.
Look at you now.
I know. Yo, come at me.
No, I'm saying school-wise. I'm saying school-wise. You're doing. You're doing all this schooling, and like you've accomplished a lot. You know, so I mean, at least it helped you in that aspect.
I think like my parents' strict sense of self kind of like carried on to me, and then I've had to undo it over the years. But I think that's kind of like what got me through med school. So
yeah, that's called trauma.
It's called trauma, and I'm healing.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so you didn't get detention. I got it a couple times. I've been suspended. I also had to do teen therapy, which was crazy. Yeah.
We're finding out things today.
Yeah, I had to do teen therapy because I got in trouble. I think it was the same time my mom hit me. I forgot what I got in trouble for.
Yo, but your mom had a rough...
I was a handful.
We should have switched. My parents would have just...
beat the shit.
Yeah, you would not be here. You would not be here today if you had my parents.
The teen therapy was awesome because the therapist told my mom and told me that I was...
that she was the problem.
She literally, they were like, she's too strict. You know, you're lashing out because she's too strict. She doesn't let you like do much. And I was like, I like this lady. This lady seems like she knows what she's doing. And then she was like, oh, you make music? Let me hear it. And she would let me play my music to her, and we would like talk about it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Love at first sight.
Yeah. I wonder where she is.
And
just kidding. All right. Did you go to prom?
Yeah, I went to prom, but because I got in trouble that one time for grad night, like I was saying, my mom, who's a seamstress, pretty much got so pissed at me like going to grad night that she's like, I'm not making your prom dress anymore. So I had to reuse a dress from like a party that was a few months earlier, and that's like one of the most embarrassing things that you could do as a mom that has like you have a mom that's a seamstress and she's not making your prom dress, and like everyone had already seen the other dress. Like I had posted it everywhere on Facebook, so I was like, man, my mom's good. She did a good punishment, but
that's crazy. Yeah, so especially for prom, that's like a monumental.
I know. So yeah, unfortunately, I did go to prom because they like didn't want to take that away from me. I think I would have never forgiven them if they like took that away from me. But my mom didn't come to like take pictures and stuff. My dad
They don't go to prom to take pictures.
All of my other friends like their parents came to take pictures of all of us like lined up in front of the limo and stuff like that.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, like my mom didn't come.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Kind of sad. But my dad did, and that's when I knew that like my dad is like unconditional love no matter what I've done in my life.
Reasonable.
Like yeah, like my dad's a lot more like, we just had like, my mom and I had like a little power struggle. Usually it happens with like daughters and their moms, but mine happened to be senior year, so.
Yeah, no, that's.
Sorry,
I
Mom,
feel like that is
you.
a common thing. Like I feel like guys end up like having a close relationship with their mom, and then like girls
have like a conflict with their dad of some sort.
What, me? Oh, like yeah, like guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very common thing.
My dad just wasn't around.
Got dark.
Yeah.
Did someone shut the lights in here?
Did I go to prom? I didn't go to my prom. At the time, I was dating a girl that was older than me. She was a senior, and I was a junior. So I went to her prom, and funny enough, most of my friends were older. A lot of my friends were like a year older. I had friends
that
are
so wise.
No, I don't know. It's just how it worked. And because not even her friends. It's not like I knew her. It was just like people I knew were all like older. Because I was like making music at that time, so I just hung out with like older people. And so I went to her prom, and I didn't go to mine. I could care less. We went to prom, and it was lame as hell. Like we danced, and it was fun. Yeah. And then it was just like, I was like, we both looked at each other at one point, and we were just like, should we just head out? Because we had like a whole party lined up. Like we had one of her friends' parents got us a hotel, and like we had like a hotel on like the beach with like a balcony, a wraparound balcony. Gee, we were living it up.
I was still a virgin.
I don't think that's what we don't need to fucking talk about that.
I'm just saying that a lot of people like they like go to prom and they want to like spend time with their significant other and stuff like that, like spend the night and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's what you did, but
I did that before too.
Okay, but like I'm just saying, I didn't before, during, or after, okay? So, but yeah, because my parents were really strict. But anyways, also because I was unpopular, because my parents were strict. so, for my prom, like, we all slept in, like, my friend's mom's house.
Nice.
Like, all of us in the living room. Like, just a giant...
Like a big slumber party.
Like a big-ass slumber party, but it was, like, guys and girls, and all the parents, because, like, all the parents are, like, they've got sticks up their butt. They were like, oh, how dare they? Like, oh, my God. There was only one couple, and there was, like, 17, 20 of us or something like that, and only one couple.
Yeah, so it's
and
like
it's like, yeah, you think that one couple's gonna do something around all the rest of us? Like, no, we were all pretty straight edge, so unfortunately.
So what was the most challenging part of school? Again, I can answer that.
Being a virgin.
I can answer that in a really easy answer. What was the most challenging part of school? School. I didn't like school. I didn't want to be there. I didn't like classes. I didn't like having to sit. I was like a caged animal. I'm like one of those people that like
ADHD.
Yeah. School is not built for people like me, and I think that's why I am the way I am now. Like,
school's definitely built for people like me.
Yeah, like I cannot
like,
do it.
Thrive.
I cannot follow the academic line. It just doesn't work.
I must derail.
Like, that's why I've always done like freelance work. I've always done like I haven't had
the
that
opposite of everything else.
Yeah, I just like I played music, so I was just like, oh no,
we would have never dated back then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a very.
My parents would have been like, absolutely not. He is the most rebellious child. What?
Speaking of, do you want to see your yearbook picture? Oh my gosh,
okay.
I wanted to see your face. So
what?
At one point, I don't even remember what grade this was.
What?
I got a high top fade, and I used to have a lot. I used to always let my hair grow out a lot.
It literally, I don't even know who the fuck that person is.
Yeah, so I remember because before it would just be like an afro. I always had like an afro. I would always just like let my hair grow out pretty long.
What's going on with your hairline?
What do you mean?
Why is it like all squiggly? I mean, I shouldn't talk like look at my hairline.
No, because those are curls that are going up.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Like my hair was like it was like a big poof.
Yeah.
Me and my friend both had like the same haircut, and we were like. Yep, so that was...
Are you going to put that up? Because you should.
Yeah, of course.
You should.
I just want to see your face. I was saying how hers isn't going to be that exciting because she was just like...
I was just like a weird child.
But you were like
I know what I did on the weekends.
Person, though.
No, I know what I did on the weekends. Let me come back to that question. I would literally take pictures of myself and I would edit them because I was so bored, and I would edit like all these weird like edits that just don't make freaking sense.
Like, artsy. You were artsy.
No. I thought it was quirky. No. It's like delusion. Like I was so in my head and like inside the house that it was just like delusional at one point.
What happened to the picture? You didn't show me the picture.
I don't know. I forgot to put the best word.
Oh. Well, now you got me wondering. Because like I feel like yours is just like I'm going to be like, oh.
Look at that. Like, what am I doing? Like, what is this?
See, I pulled up one picture, and then she started scrolling through her Facebook.
Like,
and
but
then
it's just to prove the point of, like, what are these edits, man? Like, what are all these little...
That's what people used to do. Anyway, we're not going to show half of this, so it's not... No, we're not going to show half of this, so it doesn't matter. Just...
I know. Oh, and I was also a Disney princess during high school. True story.
Like a job?
Like a job. Like I got paid $50 an hour, but it was outside in the Florida heat. So like I think it was like worth it. And you also had to answer like really random questions. Like little girls would be like, "What religion are you?" And I'm like, princesses don't have. They're all the religions.
Was
like,
it for Disney? Was it like
no? It was like this. Like,
oh yeah, I know. I used to always get them like, coming into my work.
Yeah.
So
that's what I did. Well, but I also worked at the mall. But that was like kind of like my, my stripper money.
You are just unhinged on this right now. So My job in high school was I worked at a hot dog stand, and the name of the place was called Doggy Style. And we sat
and you told me I'm unhinged, sir. You're unhinged.
And they also did bounce houses. That was the weird part, is they would rent out bounce houses to kids, and then they also had a hot dog stand. But the hot dog stand, we made money.
It's so funny because
I used to make like $80 a day in tips only.
It's so funny because I used to work at that same Best Buy, but like years later. So it was just really funny.
Yeah.
So close yet so far. And the bowling alley that your ex-girlfriend in high school used to work at was the same bowling alley that I would go to like all the time with my family.
Yeah.
So we probably were in like the same area, but clearly different lifestyles entirely.
Completely.
I was a virgin.
I was smoking pot out back at the bowling alley, and you were just playing.
I was a straight A, virgin.
You were actually like bowling. Although I was a pretty good bowler.
What was the most challenging part of school?
I said school. I don't even know if you answered.
Most challenging part was not being able to go anywhere because my parents were so strict.
So being strict, so the social aspect.
Dealing with my strict parents and like trying to be a social person because I couldn't go anywhere. So then I would just be like such a pick me energy at school, and I'd be like, please pick me. I'm still like that, but whatever. What
career did you want to do when you were younger versus now?
Well, when I was younger, I wanted to be a Disney princess, and I did that. So sucks to suck.
Did you really? That's what you wanted to do?
No, not really.
You didn't have like a typical one?
Yeah, I wanted to be in musical theater, like in Broadway. I wanted to.
Oh, didn't you get accepted into like?
So I got accepted into NYU, and I got accepted into like UF and a bunch of other schools, and my parents were like, nope, you can't go, and you can't do that as a career, or else we're not gonna like support you at all. So.
And now you're doing Chinese medicine.
And now I'm doing medicine.
Yeah.
Like I knew that was gonna, like, I was good at science, and since I was a young kid, I actually have a home video of me saying like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I was like 4.
Oh,
and I was holding my baby sister, and I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor for kids.
Full circle.
Technically, I know, full circle. Which technically I ended up doing, but I got a little carried away by musical theater in high school. I was like, this is so fun.
Yeah, I bet.
But I wasn't even like that great of a singer, so like I don't know what I was thinking.
The podcast begs to differ. I've heard some of these notes you're hitting on here are fantastic.
What did
I want to be? When I was in elementary, I wanted to be a veterinarian. And then I realized that I didn't like that because you would have to see animals like pass away or see bad things with animals, and I was like, damn, that'd be a bummer.
That's sad.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want.
You come home and you're like, man.
Yeah, so that changed pretty quickly, and then music kind of took over my life, so I wanted to be like a musician for a long time.
I could see that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. Did I want to be anything else? I think it was just that. Well, before that, my brother gave me a camera, and I would always make videos. I used to do like skits and do all types of stuff.
I kind of wanted to do that too.
Yeah, so like.
And guess what? There you go. We're fulfilling that.
Yeah, so like now that I'm like.
We both were into. I don't know why this keeps spinning.
Yeah, I was into filmmaking, so like I
was too.
I had a Game Boy camera. I had a Game Boy camera, and I would I would do stuff with that, do stop motions, and then my brother gave me like
pixels on that, or just
oh my gosh, it was so bad. And then my brother gave me a camera, and I would do all types of skits. I would do a lot of stuff where I pretended to be like Steve Irwin. Anchor? Oh no, Steve Irwin. I was more like, so I would like like stalk my cat.
Sounds like very boy type of things.
Yeah.
We would do like
and then skating
shows.
videos.
We would do like made up shows about like stupid shit.
Yeah, but
like some Disney Channel shit.
Technology moves to the point where like when you had cameras, they were nice. Or I was also using hand-me-downs.
What are you talking about? I was only like 4 years younger than you.
Yeah, but technology moves so much faster that like a couple years, like when I had like the cameras I was using, but again, like I did have hand-me-downs. But I remember I saved up by babysitting these ridiculously bad kids next door so I could buy a camera, and I bought a camera. But most of my money spent as a kid was all on musical equipment and skateboarding.
I had like
and BMX.
I had cameras. I actually was one of the few people that would like carry a camera, like a, you know, just a point and shoot, and I would upload like all of the pictures of our friends like when we would hang out. So then that's kind of like the only reason why I think I was liked.
No, that's a great way to
it's
make
like,
friends
oh yeah,
right there.
guys, and I still kind of do that.
Yeah, you have like hard drives, so many hard drives full of like. Oh my god,
did I just like realize something? Like,
what?
Is that why I still do it? Because I feel like that's...
Oh, you do that. Why? At all the family get-togethers, everything, you always do that. Oh my god,
is that why I do that? Because
you like, always got the Google Drive.
Is this therapy?
You're a good photographer, though. You take good pictures of people because you get them in the moment, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
But I just realized that. I was like, oh my god. Is that why I do it? Because I want to be liked by people?
It's that damn pick-me energy.
It's the pick-me energy.
So yeah, like, so pretty much I'm still following the same footsteps. I'm still making music. I'm still filming, and I still skate and stuff, because skating videos was a big thing. And this.
And this.
You know. Yeah.
And Rolby treats me right.
What does that have to do?
And I love you.
We're not doing that. I'm cutting that one out. School scandals. Were there any school scandals?
No. Yes, but it's just a lot of like drugs and stuff.
That's not school scandals.
But it's like bougie drugs. It wasn't even like.
No, but like school scandals, like we talked about, like anything with like teachers and like getting.
Well, it would be in the news. It would show up in the news.
Yeah.
So.
After I left middle school, our principal, I think, got fired because he like had an affair, or was like, they got caught with like the vice principal or another administrator, and that was a big thing because he was such a goofball.
Juicy.
Like he was so like he was just like a weird guy, like not a weird like not. I shouldn't say weird, but he was just like a goofy guy, so no one ever expected it because the person that he had an affair with was like a very pretty lady, and I was like, what? But I found out about later, so I wasn't in school. We had a whole ass MTV show in our school called The Paper. I kid you not, it was like a legit MTV show. And I remember like all the cameras would be in the hall, and I would try to like get into the background. Guess what, bitch? I don't even need that anymore. I got YouTube's. That's crazy though. I got Twitter. We'll have to look that up and it's not even Twitter anymore. Put some stuff in there. Cause yeah, that's crazy. Our school only made it into an MTV show because of a senior prank. They put dead fish in on the air vents, so the whole school smelled disgusting. Did they do any senior pranks at your school? Type of prank. Yeah, all the time. They put a car in the middle of like a pole. A pool? Or something like a pole. A car in the middle of a pole. Yeah. I think that was the thing. What do you mean, put a car in the middle of a pole? I don't know. They put it in the middle of a pole. I have to get a picture. Yeah, I'm gonna put a really dumb picture of a car like on top of a pole, because what does that even mean? I think pole? They fixed it around the pole somehow. They took apart the car? I think so. Is that a thing? Or that is that just not, like... That is not a thing. I'm gonna have to like call my people. Yeah, and then my people will call your people. Okay. I remember when I was in school, they let out crickets in the lunchroom. I remember that. They're jumping everywhere, and that was a senior prank. I thought it was a stupid one. All right, so now I get to tell you about the story that I've been thinking about for a while. I almost don't want to say it because the question is, have you ever had any bad experience with teachers? Like bad experiences with them? And so there's this one teacher that I hate. That I hated for some reason. Wow, hate is a very strong word. I didn't like her. She wasn't the best teacher, or maybe she was a good teacher. I was just like, you know, I was a young teen. It was in middle school. I think it was 7th grade. Misunderstood. She didn't let me go to the bathroom. I really had to pee. I think I know this story. I really had to pee, and she wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. And I kept telling her, I told her like at least 3 times, I said, if you don't let me go to the bathroom, I'm gonna pee my pants. And to this day, there's still people from my high school that if I see them, they don't really say it anymore, but there's a point in time where they'd be like, oh bro, I remember that. And I'm like, I wish you didn't, because it's, so yeah, I started peeing my pants in class. And I just, which is not an easy thing to do. I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna teach this lady a lesson. You don't ever tell a kid he can't go to the bathroom when he has to go to the bathroom.
That's fucked up, man.
And the joke was on me though, because I peed myself and then I walked out because she was like, oh my god, go, and she like rushed me out of the room, and the bathroom was like right, it was literally like you could see the bathroom from the door, like it was right there. She could have just let me go. She didn't let me go. I told her,
bitch.
Yeah, I didn't like her.
But at the same time, okay, maybe if you had like a Did you have like
No, I didn't abuse it.
A history?
No, I didn't abuse it at all. I think she was just kind of like, she was kind of mean. Like she was just kind of like a meaner teacher. I don't remember it much because I just remember that story. But so I peed my pants and then I walked out into the hallway and then I was like, well, I guess I'll just finish it. And just like kept peeing my pants because once you start, it's hard to stop.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not easy to start. So once you know, it just kind of kept going. And then I came back in, and the severity of what I did just kind of like sunk in. I was like, I just pissed my pants in school, and my mom's working, so she can't come pick me up.
Oh my god! So I'm stuck with it.
So I basically had to go the rest of school with pee pants. With pissy pants, little boy pissy pants. And I remember I told my friend about it in like the last period that we had, and he was just like, did you change? And I was like, no. And he's like, he just looked at me with such disgust. And I don't blame him, but yeah, so I peed my pants to prove a point, and quickly just regretted it instantly. Like as soon as I was done, I was like, yeah, that was the dumbest thing I think I've ever done in my life. Yeah, for some reason I thought I would have been able to just leave, but no, I just stayed.
You just stuck to your ways.
So we had block schedule, 4 periods at that time, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And that was second period. Oh my god. So I was basically halfway through school. I still had another 4 hours of sitting in my...
smelling like urine. Straight up piss.
It smelled. Especially when you're a kid, you don't drink enough water. So, do you have any bad experiences with teachers?
With teachers, plenty, but not enough to like, oh yeah, just kidding. There was this one time, and I was like, I had come here from Venezuela, and they didn't have like ESOL yet, so they had put me in a class with a fully English speaking teacher, and I was in 4th grade, so I was technically supposed to be in 3rd grade, but I was advanced for my age, so I was put into 4th grade. And she would get so frustrated about me asking like what things were and what they meant, because again, I was only a Spanish speaker and I only spoke very little English. She got so frustrated that she would like slam her freaking hand on my desk and like would yell at me, and I started peeing myself actually at night.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was in school.
No, I was like, ah. No, I started peeing myself while I was sleeping because I was so fearful of.
Oh, that's so sad.
Which is kind of like a Chinese medicine thing, which I understand now. But anyways, so like the emotion of fear in Chinese medicine deals with like your urinary bladder. So that's probably what was happening. So I was so fearful that I would like, keep peeing the bed, and I never peed the bed ever in my entire life. And I was 8 at this point, so my parents were like, oh my god, they're so concerned. Because they're immigrants and like they're stressing out about a bunch of other things, and then on top of that, like our eldest child is like pissing themselves and they're 8, and it was happening so many times that my mom was like, okay, what's going on, Jessica, and whatever. And I'm like, I thought it was normal that the teacher was like really freaking mean and abusive, and then I told my parents about it, and then my mom like went over to the freaking principal, and she didn't speak any English, and she like demanded to talk to the principal, and the principal was like, oh no, I'm like too busy and whatever, and she like rushed into like the freaking office like anyways.
I
like
could see your mom doing that.
My mom would do anything, okay? Don't mess with my mom. So she like started explaining, and then someone else came in to like kind of help translate and stuff because the principal didn't understand Spanish. And then like the principal's like, oh, I can't do anything about it because like that teacher's been here like for so long, whatever. And then my mom grabbed like a book and she slammed it on the freaking desk of the principal, and she's like, oh, you're scared? Oh, that's so weird, like whatever, that's what would happen to a freaking child, like imagine how a child feels and whatever. And she like ate her up, left no crumbs. And yeah, so then because of that whole incident, they had to get an ESOL teacher in the school because of that incident. Because of my mom like coming in and like beating her ass.
Your mom made some shit happen.
Yeah, pretty much. Freaking.
She put the pressure on.
Mom for 2020, president for 2024.
2020, we're a couple years off.
2024.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, so that's
good though, because I'm sure some other kids benefited from that, because like that's a huge thing.
So they actually held me back and put me in 3rd grade where I was supposed to be. And that kind of changed the trajectory of like my entire life if you think about it. Like, you know, so yeah, so then I was put into an ESOL class, and yeah.
Nice.
It was like so much better, and that teacher became like one of my favorite teachers ever.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that you had that. I'm glad Mario did that, because
so it went from like that experience. I feel like
I'm
teachers,
a therapist right now. I'm like, and how did that make you feel?
How did that make you feel? And this next question, were there any teachers that inspired you, and why? So that was one of the teachers that inspired me.
Your ESOL teacher? My
ESOL teacher. Well, she became a regular teacher after that class. Like she was in kind of like a probation period to see if because there was a lot of more immigrant kids that were coming in 2000, especially from Venezuela. So that was around the time that 1999 to 2000. So so yeah, there were like enough kids that they formed a class, and we were all like Spanish speakers. And yeah, so she was my teacher for 3rd and 4th grade, and she changed like everything for me about my experience about being here in the
school,
US. Yeah,
and dealing with that. I can imagine, because teachers can be really mean, like when they get frustrated.
I know. She was just such a bitch.
Teachers in the US are underpaid and overworked, and so like I get that it's a frustrating job, but I've seen the difference in teachers, of like teachers that cared and teachers that didn't. Like that's like the teachers that inspired me were always the ones who actually cared, and they taught. You know, they sat in front of the class, they like went through lessons, they actually cared about like with the pupils and their answers. They weren't just like giving you work and then just letting you fend for yourself and then complaining or like or scolding you after for whatever. Like I had a couple teachers that actually were teachers, and I always thought that was good, because most of them, I feel like they just gave us busy work. Like, once we hit a certain, like in high school wise, like most of them just gave us busy work. They'd give us the book, they'd tell us what we needed to do. They wouldn't teach any lesson. They would literally just like give us what we had to do, and that was it. So, but my one teacher that inspired me the most was my AP English teacher. She was just super nice, and she always like gave me a lot of I guess like confidence, or it made me feel like I was like really like special. And because like that was really the only subject that I would actually excel in, because like I had really good reading comprehension, and I felt like it was easy. Like I'm still not the best at grammar, but she didn't care. She would just let me like, most projects she would let me like write poems, or let me write like do creative writing. And she would somehow like make it work, like make it fit within like the guidelines of what she needed. And she was amazing. So she also let me come and perform a few times, like sing a song instead, because there was one where it was something to do with lyrics, where they wanted you to like, or she wanted you to recite your favorite lyrics and then explain why. And I was like, oh, can I sing a song? And she's like, yeah. And so like I chose the most emo, worst song to ever do for a class. Like I chose Dashboard Confessional. And
it sounds
have you
intense.
Have you ever listened to him? It's super emo, like acoustic dude, like just cry music. Like he just like talked about girls and like whatever. And he had this one song called This Bitter Pill, and I think it was a metaphor for something. I don't think it was about like actual pills, but I think she took it in a different way than it was, and so I'm singing this fucking song about like swallowing this bitter pill, and like there's a part where he gets really loud and emotional, and so like I did it too, like I said, I was an emo kid to the T.
Yeah.
And I just remember like you know, I impressed some of the girls in the class. Like, they were like, oh my God, he's so like sensitive, and he's so emotional. I've never seen this side of him. And then I looked at her, and she's literally crying. And like, I didn't know if it was a good cry or a bad cry, but she's just like, tears are coming down.
Like, you traumatized her.
Yeah, I think she like, I remember I was like, wow, that was probably so good. She thought it was, you know, so touching.
And then now thinking about it as an adult, you're like...
As I got older, I was like, that song was pretty inappropriate to sing at school. Like, it's I'm pretty sure it's not about that. I'm pretty sure it's like a metaphor for like, but man, like
poor homegirl probably
lyrics,
like just quit after that.
She probably
She's like, I'm out.
She probably thought I
had
had
a little
like
too much.
Yeah, she probably thought I had a huge like drug problem or something. And like I was like, that's my favorite song. Like,
and I really, sang it for you.
It was just like a super emotional song that like really touched me, because it's like the emotion that he had in his voice when he sang it. It was like, it was a really good song.
That's what you liked about it, but then like maybe she looked too far into it.
Yeah, but she definitely inspired me. She was awesome. I don't remember her name.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we were all like emo, but were we really? Like, yeah, I went through some like hardcore stuff like in my adulthood. Yeah, and I'm like, I was such a little bitch. Like,
yeah, I was emo for like nothing.
Singing at these songs when I was younger, and like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I went through some stuff when I was younger, but like, it's just funny.
Yeah.
Another teacher of mine that just reminded me, in elementary school, I had that ESOL teacher, and then in middle school, I had this one teacher that was a chorus teacher, and I started taking chorus in 6th grade, and I did it 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, and she was like this vibrant woman, and I don't know if she was single or not, but like she ended up later on, I found out that she like got married, and like I follow her on social media, and she just like has kept that same vibrance, like vibrancy, yeah, throughout life. And she just like, she was the first person to show me that I can be myself, and like I can be goofy, and I can be like a grown woman, and like still be playful, and like
still have that same
still
energy.
Have that joy. Like, she would come and would be like so childlike, and in the best way, like had that innocence behind her. And that was the first person, like as an adult, that I was like, I admired, and I'm like, I want to be like her. Like, if I were to ever teach, like I would teach like she did. And that was like my chorus teacher, and in middle school, and I just like took that with me even throughout like middle school and high school. And then in high school, I like really honed in on that. And when I was in musical theater, we had like a few different teachers, and there was this one teacher, and he was like he was like the technical supervisor, so he wasn't too into like the whole drama thing, but he still had a really beautiful like perspective on certain things, and he also taught English, so he was very like deep, introspective, and to impress him, it took a lot. So he never remembered any of the freshman or like sophomore names, and I was the first one that he remembered the name of, and I was like so freaking happy, because that meant that like someone who's like not impressed at all by anything, like, yeah, I was able to impress him by like me being goofy, and he thought that it was freaking like, he'd like try to keep a cool face and whatever, like serious, then he'd be like, this crazy bitch, like what is she fucking saying? And like, yeah, I don't know, I felt like he made me feel like, yeah, he was a little bit more serious, and maybe he was misunderstood by a lot of people because he seemed serious, but I could kind of like get that playful side out of him, because I like took that lesson from like my previous teachers, like the one in middle school in chorus, and like I just like ran with that in high school, and I was like, I don't know, that made me feel like I could connect with anyone being like vibrant and joyful and stuff like that, even someone who like, I feel like I made his day at times, you know? Yeah. And I was like, that made me feel so I don't know, important in a way.
Oh, it's so special. You have such normal interactions with teachers, and I've peed my pants and made them cry. And then I'm not even going to talk about the one teacher that we tortured, so...
You're like, after that, I can't follow it up.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of making me feel a little like, wow, my high school and middle school, like, history is, like, so different, you know? And that's the beauty of this, and that's the point of this, is that, you know, we're so different, yet we complement each other so well, you know?
I just think, like... 'Cause it's interesting how we both had different experiences in school, but we, like, at the end of it, it made us the people that we are. Like, those experiences, even though, like, we spent so much time in school.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like, the majority of your life, you know?
It's prison.
It's prison.
It's a prison for kids.
Yeah, but then it makes you, like... you know, think outside the box, and then, you know, be more creative, and like think of like, oh, that's not the only solution. It kind of like forced you out of your like comfort zone in that sense, and then it forced me like to later on figure out like, oh, how regimented like certain things are and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, it was the only escape that I had, like, that gave me some type of social construct for a really long time. And now that I'm gonna be finishing school in a month, it's kind of like...
Yeah, you're still in school.
I
like,
know,
that's still
I haven't
reality.
stopped going to school since I was 4, and I'm 31 now, and I'm about to finish in a month my doctorate, and it's a little sentimental for me.
I know, and like for me, I'm like, I've been out of school for so long that I'm just like, good riddance. Like, I don't want to go back.
So you can tell who came up with this topic idea.
Yeah, seriously, I was like, this sounds stupid, but I was like, I do have some good stories.
Yeah,
but yeah,
all the rebellious things.
Yeah, I was definitely more of a rebel. But it just, you know, school isn't made for everybody, and I think that's the thing. Like, some people can follow that line, and some people can't. And like, it made me realize that like I like more hands-on stuff, and I there's schools in Europe, which I don't know much about, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But I just know that there's different ways of schooling where it's like outdoor school. You go out and you learn the lessons like in real life, and like that's something that I would have benefited.
That's the future, like in education, I think.
Yeah, because I would have benefited from that so much. Because like sitting in a room and like, and most schools are just so gross. They're like these little nasty office buildings. Like you, like out of high school, I worked at a desk job, and it made me realize how much I hated it. Like I was like, wow, I do not like this. I want to be moving. I want to be like, even if I'm inside, I need to be moving. I need to be doing something, because like sitting in front of a desk and like just like trying to force yourself to do, it's just not for me. And although I do sit in front of a desk,
it was just kind of ironic.
But it's like for a creative reason, so it's like fun, you know.
But I think that's what I'm saying. Like, we had completely different perspectives on school, but school still ultimately like defined where we were gonna, like, in which direction it like either forced you, like it pressured you so much that it was like, okay, I definitely don't want this. And then like for my career, unfortunately, I do have to go to like school for it, but it's just, I don't know, it's just really interesting to see from both perspectives. Did you just freaking yawn? You stupid
Sorry,
bitch.
it's so boring. No, I'm just joking. It's pretty late
to
anyway.
finish the podcast out. Is there like a good core memory of yours from school that you can remember?
A core memory. I mean, making that lady cry was like a big was a good core memory for me. You know,
mine are all so cutesy, and you're like,
I made that bitch cry. I made that bitch cry. No, I mean, she really did like believe in me, and she had a lot of I don't know, she just believed in me, and that always felt good, because a lot of teachers would just like count me out. They'd be like, unless it was a reading teacher, unless it had anything to do with reading, they'd see me read, they'd be like, oh, he can read. He's good. It tells you the state of our school at that time. Her having so much faith in me helped me, and like being so supportive of my creativity, because I was really into like writing poetry and being super like sappy. It made me like feel, I don't know, important. And, like, I was like, oh, okay, maybe there is like a place for me in like the world, or maybe there is like something that I can do that's gonna like be meaningful. Because like now one of my goals is kind of like documentary filmmaking, or some sort of filmmaking that can kind of like change you know, people's minds or change something in the world. Like, everybody wants to, like, kind of change the world. And so I feel like she always made me feel like I actually could, and a lot of other teachers didn't. Like, they kind of just, like, counted me out. So I think I would say that's my core memory. But socially, a lot. I have a lot of, like, fun memories, like, with friends and stuff, and, like, a lot of memories, like, of, like, playing music with my friends. We would spend hours and hours, like, practicing and, like, you know, which was kind of out of school, though.
Yeah, but, that's what I was saying.
So, like, that's what I mean. Most of my, in school, it was a prison. Go ahead.
I think I have, like, 2 core memories. One was definitely, like, that ESOL teacher, because that was kind of, like, the beginning of everything here for me in the U.S., and that was a very important thing. Like, it was like the foundation. Yeah. And then another core memory, I just remember, like, there was 100 or 120 of us on stage, and we were performing a song for the musical theater class that we were in, and it was like the show itself. And I just remember, like, we had a really nice theater, and there was, like, all of us on stage singing at the same time, and different, like, you know, we were all harmonizing, and it was such a powerful song. The show was ragtime, and if you don't know, like, about ragtime, I would just look into what it's about, but it's a very, like, intense show. And so when we sang a specific song, where we were all involved, like, I just remember, like, the echoing throughout that theater, and how powerful, like, we all felt as, like, one.
Yeah, there's something really special about, like, music harmonizing and, like, feeling.
And acoustics, like, things bouncing off. So that theater will always have, like, a forever special place in my heart. I did multiple things in chorus there, and also, like, the musical theater, but it was just such a powerful moment. And then we were all kind of, like, crying on stage because it was, like, so emotional, and the entire audience, like, you would see out, like, the audience, and everyone was hysterically bawling because it was such a powerful song. And it was just it deals kind of, like, with racism and, like, very difficult topics of, like, the turn of the century and stuff like that, in 1900s, like 1910s and stuff. But that was, like, a really, like, it was such a powerful message, and to be able to, like, have the space to be able to, like, express, and, like, something so difficult to express in, like, music, in the form of music, as a collective, like, a giant group of people. It's one of the best feelings ever. Like,
I feel like most of my core memories, like, outside of school, all revolve around, like, music, because, like, music's, like, there's a feeling that you get when you're making music, or you're like, everybody's in tune, everybody's, like, linked up, same wavelengths, same frequency, and, like, and for that especially, because, like, you're, like, speaking about something that's really intense and something that's really powerful, so I can only imagine.
So I think that's where we connect back together.
Music. Music's important.
That's what we got from our experience, I guess, of school, that we can relate on.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, we both,
because you're in musical theater, and I was definitely, like, I was a goofball with a guitar. It's like, that's how I got through most of my schooling. Well, high school, I think we both
got through school with music.
I mean, like, who doesn't? I feel like everybody, like, kind of uses music, unless you're one of those weird people who don't like music. I'm sorry, but that's, like, the weirdest thing. If you don't, that should be one of my red flags. If you don't like music, like, because I know people that would be like,
that's one of my red flags too.
I know people that are like, they basically just say they don't listen to music.
Music makes me cry a lot.
Yeah, always.
Like, the other day I was listening to something, like, instruments playing, and I cried.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember that. Yeah, so music's important. And I think that's
it.
That's where we call it.
That's it, man.
This might be something that we talk about in future episodes. Maybe we'll bring it back and like go over more because I have so many ridiculous stories. I know, who doesn't have?
I still got stories.
Million high school stories. But yeah, that's it.
Naughty confessions from Rolby, because I was a virgin.
Ciao.
I'm just kidding.
Ciao. Que te vaya bien.
Ciao, que te vaya bien.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Episode 2 down.
Episode 2.
All right. I don't want to stop pressing. I don't want to press stop.
Why? It's okay. Take my hand. Some High School Musical stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna press stop.